A time comes in the life of every race when people are driven by echoes of the past to chart a course for an exalted future. Africa is at this threshold, as major actors in the Africa arena plot a renaissance towards common destiny. Let's pedal across the streams of yesterday, through the backstreets of Africa to the defining roles of policymakers, the political realities of the African nation, balance of power, and the strive to sustain national interest and identity. Join us on Network Africa on Channels Television. Network Africa, a rallying point for the emergence of a new Africa.
Welcome to this week's edition of Network Africa. I am Victoria Ido. Coming up on the program, 3 African leaders have been in Burkina Faso capital involved in discussions with the military government led by Lieutenant Colonel Isaac Zida. The AU wants a change of government soon, but will its wishes be granted? One analyst thinks the team of 3 will make no impact on the country's political future.
Whatever we agree will be one that is agreed to by all society. We cannot take unilateral decisions and say that any transitional government that we establish is a transitional government of a group of Burkina society, excluding others. And so, yes, it's a painful incident, but it's my hope that God will give you the heart.
Then, a change that has been springing up over the years in Tunisia. Is the country really ready for a female leadership? That's Network Africa in summary. Stay with us for details. You're welcome back. Burkina Faso made history this last 2 weeks. They have been able to start and sustain a revolution, albeit a bit brief. It has achieved the desired result. However, the military government takeover was never part of the plan. ECOWAS was in a delegation on Wednesday to convince the junta to cede power to a civilian interim government sooner than the AU's 2 weeks ultimatum.
The team was led by President John Mahama, alongside the presidents of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, and Senegal, Macky Sall. All 3 represented the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The task was simple: to convince Lieutenant Colonel Isaac Zida to appoint a civilian transitional leader to guide the country to elections next year. Mr. Mahama echoed the ECOWAS position on the country's political situation.
And embrace all the segments of Burkina society in order to take the decisions that we have to take to establish a stable democracy. And so, yes, we are upset with our brothers about what happened and our sisters, but it is important for us to also involve them so that whatever we agree will be one that is agreed to by all society. We cannot take unilateral decisions and say that any transitional government that we establish is a transitional government of a group of Burkina society, excluding others. And so, yes, it's a painful incident, but it's my hope that God will give you the heart.
The meeting was attended by civil society groups and tribal chiefs who issued a statement after the talks. It said that all parties in the negotiations wanted an eminent civilian personality to head the transition. Political leaders at the meeting agreed that the country's political transition should last a year, followed by elections in November 2015. Under Burkina Faso's constitution, the head of the National Assembly should take office if the president resigns. Meanwhile, the country's now former president, Blaise Compaoré, is cooling his heels in Côte d'Ivoire, where he has been welcomed by President Alassane Ouattara. He had fled to the country with the help of France and is said to be staying currently in Yamoussoukro. Pursuant to their meeting in Ouagadougou, the ECOWAS delegation of 3 presidents traveled to Ghana for a special ECOWAS summit on Thursday to discuss the situation in Burkina Faso and the Ebola virus disease. Their efforts following an ultimatum issued by the African Union, giving the military 2 weeks to hand over to a civilian transitional government.